AT&T, HBO kind of launched their nuclear option, and we talked about that a little bit last week. Well, the fallout is starting to come from that right now.
Yeah, now
it's pretty intense.
Yeah, last week we had talked about that they were going to bring all of their movies to HBO Max, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this was going to be a what was it? All of their 2021 slate. They're going to go they're going to go to HBO Max. They'd be on for a month, and then they would go to streaming and other services, and then home video, and then come back to HBO Max. That was the plan,
right? Just to give that a little bit of context, everyone in the industry was pretty much looking at that as, yeah, that's pretty much just kind of giving lip service to the concept of even releasing things in the theaters.
Yeah.
But it was something. The theaters might actually be able to hold out if they at least had those opening weeks, because as we all know, the big numbers come in the first couple weeks, and then there's a quick drop off, no matter how big the movie is.
Yeah, that was the Universal plan, okay, for Universal Studios.
Exactly.
Okay. But apparently, though, the Warner plan of just putting thing day and date with the theaters wasn't too popular, okay? Not just with the movie theater owners, but also with several people that work for Warner Brothers, okay? Christopher Nolan rips HBO Max. So this is the first story. I believe that's from a Hollywood Reporter, yeah.
So this was the first one that came out, and a lot of people were looking at this, you look at these things as they come out, so you only see them in a vacuum, right? So everyone looks, oh, Nolan, he's getting some attitude, he's getting some attention for himself, and he's, just no, whatever it is. But I'm actually going to drop the second one right away, because 2 points make a line, in my opinion. It wasn't just Nolan, right? It was the French guy that's working on Dune.
Yeah, Dennis. I have his name here. Hold on, Dennis Villeneuve. I think it's Villeneuve. That's how I think so. He's a great director, by the way. I just
can't say his name.
His name. I do think I've heard it said enough times. It's Villeneuve. But yeah, he is one of the great current directors. Two of my favorite movies from the last decade came from him. So,
and I think we got a couple of others too, but those were two of the big ones. And it's like, okay, so that tells me, and what was it? Was it Nolan that said, I thought that I was working for one of the greatest movie companies?
Yeah, I have the quote.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll read it to you. Warner Brothers had an incredible machine for getting a filmmaker's work out everywhere, both in theaters and in the home, and they are dismantling it as we speak. They don't even understand what they're losing. Their decision makes no economic sense, and even the most casual Wall Street investor can see the difference between disruption and dysfunction. Okay, That was Christopher Nolan.
Yep. And what was it? The French guy who said?
Oh, I have his quote too. Yes.
Okay.
Dennis Villeneuve says, "I learned in the news that Warner Brothers has decided to release Dune on HBO Max at the same time as our theatrical release, using prominent images from our movie to promote their streaming service. Yeah. With this decision, AT&T has hijacked one of the most respectable and important studios in film history. There is absolutely no love for cinema nor the audience." Here, it is about the survival of the telecom mammoth, one that is currently bearing an astronomical debt of more than $150 billion. That's what he said.
And that's the key, right? We talked about this a little bit last week. The fact that every time they do this, every time they go directly to stream, it's a loss leader, right? They're saying, we're cutting our losses. We put a lot of money into these movies expecting millions and millions of dollars. Now we're just going to take what we can get and hope that it brings more money to our streaming service, because we can't release them in theaters, blah 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 blah. But all the other movie companies are going, you know what, let's wait, let's try to maximize our profits and minimize our losses. And AT&T does like the drunk frat boy and goes, screw it, let's just send it all to streaming. We don't care, because they have that bankroll that they're sitting on from AT&T. They can afford to lose all that money. They can literally afford to lose a year's worth of Hollywood money. That's basically what they're doing. But that collapses the industry. And everyone else is sitting around going, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I think I was reading even that even actors were backing up the directors on this, like Jason Momoa, and I forget somebody else too.
Exactly. So you're talking about, it's not just these two director producers that we're talking about. We're talking about actors. We're talking talent. We're talking the whole industry is turning on them.
Well, think about it.
You take this to its logical extreme. If everyone sticks together on this and looks at them and goes, screw you guys, we'll never work for you. You can't get a director. You can't get an actor. You can't get nobody. You just ended your place in the industry. Congratulations. Everything you make goes to stream, but you have no talent to make anything from here on out. You might be able to slide by in 2021. 2022, you'll have no content. At least that's what the industry is saying. I don't believe it's actually going to happen, but that does seem to be the implied threat.
A lot of people are angry at Warner, AT&T Warner over this, though. The Directors Guild of America, they're furious about this. They said these were not the deal. This is. They were saying these were not the deals that you had arranged with us, because let's face facts. Having a theatrical release is a big deal, and this kind of will help shut that down. Yeah. And when you stop having movies in theaters, and what are you going to have? Movies going direct to streaming? Eventually, you just won't have movies anymore. Directors won't make the money they're used to making. Stars won't make the money they're used to making. Okay, everything's going to get pared down.
You won't get the talent that you were looking for anymore. And yeah, it really does. This industry cannot continue to exist under that paradigm. And you just hit it very much on the head. There were agreements in place that they're backing out of now. So now, you know, the producers on Dune are going, yeah, maybe we're going to go to court over this. So it's not just that they're losing money potentially on their ticket sales. Now they're going to lose money because they have agreements they have to pay out.
Yeah, well, they spent a lot of money on, I believe it was Dune and Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yep.
And they fronted a lot of the money, not so much as Warner's, I think. And they're not going to, they're not going to, are they going to even get that back?
And
not to mention not making a profit. I mean,
exactly. And we have been talking so much about, hard numbers, industry, what's going on, from that point of view. What we haven't been talking about a lot, and I think it's important too, is the fan impact, right? Because the fans are sitting here chewing their nails going, on the one hand, we're excited to see these movies. We're tired of waiting. But if Dune and what was the other one you said, Godzilla and whatnot, if they don't bring in huge profits, there will not be a sequel. And especially with something like Dune, we know we're getting basically half the story. We're not even getting the full first book. So we are counting on that to do well enough that it merits a sequel. Otherwise, we get half a movie is what we're basically getting. Yeah,
that explains why the director is so angry, because for starters, he wants a theatrical release, but also because he, if it doesn't turn a profit, I mean, how would they even excuse funding the second half?
So let's back up on that one a second. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to play devil's advocate against my own argument here.
Okay.
The idea being, if you just shift a little bit, we're still on HBO, right? They're taking and re-releasing the Snyder Cut, and they're turning it into a miniseries, making new footage, so on and so forth. And then they're talking about building off of that on that platform. So what it sounds like they're suggestively doing is, hey, Dune, don't worry. It's just going to become a series on our platform rather than, big blockbusters being released.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's great. That's wonderful, but that's not what we originally agreed to,
No,
I don't know.